Government gang stalking is a threat to our national security. The attacks in Paris by terrorists show the vulnerability of every city to the mayhem ISIS is determined to wreak on civilian populations in the West. And how is our government keeping us safe? The Bush-Cheney administration doubled the size of the National Neighborhood Watch Group program to join first responders in gang stalking, mobbing average citizens. The impetus could be a citizen who a fireman neighbor thinks plays their music too loud, or someone in the Good Ole Boys Network getting revenge on a famous writer who happens to have gotten into a dispute with his relative. These citizens, whose names are reported in suspicious activity reports by firemen and other members of the Good Ole Boys Network, with complaints like, she takes pictures, she wears a coat when they think it is too hot for one, and other things they just make up from a list of suspicious activity the nation is supposed to be looking for, wind up in databases, and their names are spread all over the country via fusion centers. Thus, among the million-plus names in these databases are ordinary folk that pissed off a good old boy. That pads the haystack and makes it all the more difficult to keep track of the real people who pose a threat to the nation. Meanwhile, thanks to Bush, Cheney, and Obama's not stopping it, people all over our neighborhoods are stalking, keeping their eyes on people one of the good old boys thought played their music too loud or complained about a relative's cat who kept going into their garden. How can using even law enforcement to surveil people who played their music too loud keep us safe? All this energy and time spent on nonsense could be devoted to creative ways to really keep our movie theaters and malls and restaurants from real terrorists. Government gang stalking makes us all less safe by putting the focus on third-grade teachers and famous novels and ordinary people who tried to buy a fire chief's house, when our focus should be on those who want to target civilian populations. It's time we demanded an investigation into government gang stalking. No, Dick Cheney, people who disagree with you aren't aiding terrorists. Expose what war criminal Cheney and his neocon cohorts in the Bush administration have done to America.